Hi, I'm Amy with Table Flipping Housewife. Welcome or welcome back. I wanted to let you know up front that I almost didn't post this on my channel. I had to give it a good think. In fact, I finished editing most of it 5 days ago and have been chewing on whether or not to share it with you because ultimately this was not a flip, this was a flop. But in the end, in the spirit of being transparent and honest, I decided to go ahead and post it. So if it might frustrate you to watch something that doesn't have a nice reveal at the end, then this video might not be for you. And I would suggest you head over to my channel because I have some lovely pieces there that I think that you will like. And if you do, please subscribe to my channel so that you can see my upcoming projects. However, if you are intrigued to see what kind of a train wreck this was, then all aboard. My husband and I recently found this antique sewing table at an estate sale. It needed some work. The aperture that holds the top open needs to be adjusted. It was flaking a lot of paint, which was fine. My intention was to strip the top and stain it, and also strip these beautiful legs, stain them as well, and probably paint the rest of the piece white. Much to our surprise, the Singer sewing machine was still inside the table. This was a $10 purchase. It had a drawer in the front that swung open. It was really cool. The serial number on the front gave us enough information to find out that the sewing machine is from 1945, or at least the mid-40s. The first thing I did was I started to remove all the hinged parts on the top. I also removed the wood undercarriage below. The drawer in the front had screws that I couldn't reach, and at this point I gave up, so I just left that attached. I then gave it a good scrubbing with warm water and Dawn dish detergent. It had a lot of moving stickers on it. This thing's been around for a while. After washing it, I rinsed it with cool, fresh water. I need to rule out the fact that it might be painted in lead. If it's painted in lead, then I can't sand the surface. I'll have to use a chemical stripper. So I have a lead test and we're gonna get going. It's turning pink. So now I know I can't sand this. I need to use a chemical stripper to remove all of the paint before I do any sanding, which I need to do because I wanted to stain this instead of painting it. But now I know. Good thing I checked. Since I'm stripping lead-based paint, in addition to eye protection and gloves, I'm also using my respirator. The trick with any paint stripper is to apply it liberally, a thick layer, and then cover it in saran wrap so that it doesn't dry out. This said it would take 30 minutes to work. So yesterday I put on the citrus strip, waited only about 30 minutes to try to scrape the paint off. But what I noticed was that I was scraping off only what appeared to be a layer of latex paint that was put on top of a previous paint job. So I went back this morning, put on ample layers of citrus strip, put it on really thick, wrapped it in saran wrap, and it's been 3.5 hours that I've let it sit. Now I've scraped it with my fingernail through the saran wrap, and I'm actually seeing wood this time. But fingers crossed that this works, because if not, I'll have to switch paint strippers, and I would prefer to continue using citrus strip. Ooh. Oh yeah. Yay! I even tried using a little citrus strip on medium coarse steel wool. Scrubbed it really hard, got some off, but still not much. I wiped everything down with mineral spirits to remove the citrus strip and had to think about what to do next. I still had the other side of these pieces to strip. Well, that was a lot of work. So I'm going to do an experiment. For the flip side, I'm going to use the citrus strip for one piece, and I'm going to use the 2-minute removal, I don't know who makes this, on the other piece, and we'll see which one works best. That was a lot of work. The citrus strip is already applied to the board on the left and wrapped in saran wrap. I'm now applying the other 2-minute brand on this small board, and I'll wrap it up in saran wrap too. Hopefully it works better. So at this point I have applied 3 applications of citrus strip and the other brand. I rubbed everything down with mineral spirits to remove the debris, and guys, there's still paint here and there that I won't be able to sand off even with my Dremel. I need every scrap of paint removed in order to sand. Okay, so this is where I am with the saga of this table. I have tried 3 separate times to apply the citrus strip, wrap it in cellophane, and go back and scrape the paint off. But it's been, for the most part, unsuccessfully. So what I did 2 days ago was I put a very thick coat, I mean slathered citrus strip on it, wrapped it up in cellophane. I even did, or saran wrap, I even wrapped the legs individually. My thought was, let it marinate for 24 hours. Well, the next day was my birthday, and I didn't want to mess with this on my birthday. So we're really looking more like 48 hours that it's been marinating in the citrus strip. Now, at this point, I can do one of 2 things. Either I'm going to get enough paint off this time that I can stain the top and probably paint the bottom. But if I didn't get enough paint off to do that, then I have 2 decisions. I can either paint the entire thing, encapsulating what little lead paint is still there, and make the table pretty that way. The other alternative is to scrap the project altogether, which I really don't want to do. I want to be successful, but I've learned a lot on how to safely remove lead paint, and if I just can't do it after this many hours, then I'm just gonna have to cut my losses. sadness. I'm gonna try one more thing. I'm gonna see if I can pressure wash any of it off. So guys, I pressure washed that antique wood piece of furniture for probably 25 minutes, and as you can see, it just wasn't coming off. Some paint was lifting but wouldn't come off, and I knew that if it was lifting, it would eventually flake off. You can't have that. I was done. Now I found out late in the game there is a product called Lead Out. It is specifically made for stripping lead paint. Actually went online to order it from the company, but it was $50. And after spending 2 weekends on this, which is a huge investment of my time because I'm a kindergarten aide during the week. Weekends are the only time I can work on these. And so I just felt like I had spent 2 weekends with nothing in the end to show for it, and just decided I was not going to deal with the Lead Out either. Now maybe if I have amnesia down the road and I find myself having to strip a lead painted piece of furniture, then maybe I'll go back to it. But for now, that bad boy is in the timeout corner and I need to decide what to do with it. So thanks for hanging in with me, guys. I'm sorry it was such a disappointment, but you win some and you lose some. So join me again in the future. We'll have some more successful, more beautiful pieces to look at in the end. Thanks, guys.